Guest, immigration lawyer Harjap Singh Bhangal, who was contacted by the police and advised to close his office early today after a potential threat to his firm. Thank you very much for speaking to us, Harjap. Tell us about exactly what happened, your first contact with the police.
First contact came yesterday, and it was the fact that the police and the council had an intel meeting, and I got contacted by the police and by three councillors, two from Brentford, one from Hounslow, to say that your office and your name has come up in the conversations, you should take precautions. And today, when we came into work, the police actually visited our office and said, look, we need to shut it down. Your office is going to be targeted. Take the measures, send your staff home. Your office here in Hounslow, in Brentford, and in Birmingham. So I've literally had to coordinate between the two offices and get everyone sent home, and then finally get home myself.
And what are your plans now?
Well, my plans are to open tomorrow. So to open tomorrow and just be vigilant. We can't let the rhetoric and the threat just keep us closed, because we have clients who are in need. And, you know, we don't want our clients to be in fear either. I mean, we expect the police to protect us. If not, then, you know, we'll try and defend ourselves as it is. So, you know, I've never been driven out like this before, and I won't do again.
But if the police are saying that it's not safe for you, in their intelligence, your name has come up in conversations, and they're saying it's not safe for you to be in your offices, surely you can't return?
Yeah, why can't I return? I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one targeted today. There's many lawyers, up to almost about 60, that have been allegedly targeted today, and have had to arrange for that. Now, that doesn't mean we all don't go into work forever. You know, I have faith in Britain. I have faith in the British public. I have faith in the legal system. And we'll see what transpires tonight. As you can see, there's a lot of support against the rioters and against fascists and the far right out on the street today. As we speak in Brentford, there's about over 100 people protecting another office. There's an anti-fascist demonstration there. So hopefully when this dies down, then the perpetrators can be brought to justice, and you know, let British justice prevail.
You said that you've got faith in the police, but you also spoke about having to defend yourself.
Yeah, I mean, the police can't be everywhere at once, and I can't expect the police to protect me 24 hours a day. In fact, what we're seeing across the UK today is a lot of religious places, the communities have turned out to protect themselves. In Southall, in Hounslow, in Slough, in Bedford, Sikhs are protecting gurdwaras, Hindus are protecting mandirs, Muslims are protecting mosques. So people are there protecting their places of worship. This happened in 2011 as well, and when communities protected their place of worship, and not just specific communities, people came together to protect each other's place of worship. There's a famous scene from 2011 where actually Sikhs protected a mosque while the Muslims went to pray. So there's a lot of community cohesion in our cities and generally in Great Britain, and we won't let a minority threaten us or threaten our communities. And, you know, we stand united, as you can see today, as you can see in these pictures.
How will you go about defending yourself? What are you prepared to do?
Well, I think first we'll have to defend the actual rioters. One of my friends actually had to defend a rioter yesterday who was accused of hitting a police officer and also racially abusing. And I'm sure the irony wasn't lost on the rioter, that he was being defended by a solicitor of an Asian origin. So after that, we will defend ourselves. We will, you know, we will do what it takes in relation to defend ourselves whilst the police come to protect us. The police are well aware, and their response times are very quick. There has been a lot of police presence in Hounslow today, many vans, many sirens, many riot police there. So the police are cooperating, and councils, and even my local MP. So my local MP contacted me yesterday, Stephen Malhotra, and said, look, any help you need, we're here to provide it for you. And that goes to the whole community. It's not just, this isn't about me, this is about anyone who's under threat from rioters and far right.
You said that you would do what it takes to defend yourself. Are you worried that in so doing you could find yourself on the wrong side of the law?
Well, no, because I've studied the law. and I know what I can do and what I can't do. So I suggest everybody does that. And actually, in Hounslow at the moment, there's a Section 60 order in place 2 o'clock this morning, which means extra stop and search powers for those who perhaps don't know, and the fact that the police can ask to remove face coverings, which are being used as a disguise. So the police are taking action. If I would do what anyone would do to defend themselves and their fellow colleagues, or any other human they say being attacked. But however, what we have to do has to stay within the remit of the law. So that everyone has to remember that.
So,
I'm the first one to say that.
So then what would your advice be to people in your situation, perhaps businesses that they can't return to, or homes that they're frightened to leave, and as you said, religious centres as well? What's your advice to them to keep them on the right side of the law, but then, as you say, defend themselves?
Well, the advice would be first to make sure that the relevant authorities know. You can install panic buttons, which can be installed in businesses, CCTV. You can get security guards at your premises of where you worship. A lot of places of worship don't have 24-hour security at the moment. Enhanced CCTV, you can have hooked up to a system. And also, like I said, panic buttons, and inform the police that you're at high risk. And in return, they mark that on their systems, and they give you an extra speedy response time and mark you as a priority. They're the sort of things that we need to do. Also, community cohesion. Make sure you're always in a crowded place. Make sure you're not alienated. Make sure you're safe going to work and going home from work. And make sure you're always letting know someone where you are. Perhaps allowing someone to track you on your phone, like we have Find My Phone apps, or something like a close relative, perhaps your partner, perhaps your kids, perhaps your parents. There's extra measures that we can take in order to be safe.
So should people have to alter their day-to-day lives, i.e. not leave homes, perhaps not go to places of worship? Would you advocate that they need to change how they live?
Well, how far would you change your lifestyle? It's similar to as if you received a threat. Would you stop coming to work? Would you stop presenting? How would your bills get paid? People's livelihoods depend on this. How are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to pay your council tax? How are you going to pay your bills? Are you going to pay for your kids' uniform? That's just not going to happen. What you have to do is take extra measures, not let the far right defeat you. And, you can be aware, but don't let them win. The whole idea of this is to silence the voices of immigration lawyers and to silence the voices of those who speak out for marginalized communities. That's what they want. They want us to disappear from social media as X. They don't want us to post. They don't want us giving interviews to Sky News. They don't want us to speak up for migrants and their rights. And we can't let them win. We'll speak up for anybody who needs to be heard. And, whether that's a rioter or whether that's a migrant, we have to defend both. We don't have a choice in this. It's a taxi rank rule for lawyers. We have to take the first case that lands on our desk. That doesn't necessarily mean that we agree with it and share the same values of that.
What is the mood at the moment? I'm sure I can guess, but some of your clients, what are the things that they're saying to you in this climate that we find ourselves?
Well, a lot of the community and a lot of our community do fear going back to the 60s, 70s and 80s. I grew up in a town called Rainham in Essex, and I was sandwiched between Dagenham and Tilbury, and they were quite National Front and BNP strongholds at the time, and there was quite a lot of racism in them areas. So I know what it's like to be a frightened kid. I know what it's like to have my windows bricked in because I don't fit in the same colour. I know what it's like to be threatened with a knife. I know what it's like to be attacked going to a school, because all of those things happened to me. So I can understand the feeling of how the country, and how people, migrant communities, are feeling at the moment. However, there's also a lot of love out there. Look at the pictures we're looking at now. Look at the love that there is for the community out there. And 99.9% of Great Britain, of the UK, we just want a peaceful life. We just want to work, be with our family, enjoy our time with our kids and our parents, and just want a peaceful life. We don't want to be involved in situations like this. We just want to be happy with each other, in our communities. Yet there are some elements who are all of a sudden, over the past month or so, have now become insistent on creating disharmony. Let the law do its job, let justice prevail, And like I said, lawyers will be busy defending rioters and defending migrants. The justice doesn't stop, and justice is for everyone, and access to law is for everyone as well. And that's what this attempt is on the lawyers. This is an attempt to limit access to justice. And this has been ramped up over the years by the rhetoric, by prime ministers, by home secretaries, calling us lefty lawyers, calling us enemies of the people, calling judges enemy of the people. All TV presenters are implicit in this, as are media companies. This has got to stop. Otherwise, it won't end well.
Are you saying that politicians are responsible for the way that immigration lawyers are seen by society, by some in society?
Definitely, they have to be responsible when they use language like enemy of the people. Are lawyers enemy of the people? Are judges enemy of the people? If you started saying something pro-migrant now on your TV show, would you be an enemy of the people? Of course we're not. You can't use language like that. The slogan of the rioters over the past few days has been "Stop the boats." Now, who else's slogan was that? Whose lectern was that printed on while they're addressing the nation? Rishi Sunak. So you're providing slogans for the far-right group and as an excuse for them to riot. No, everyone's got a right to protest. I very much defend everyone's right to protest. What people don't have is a right to instill fear, is a right to promote violence, is a right to loot shops, whether it's for imitation footwear or whether it's for sausage rolls. Yeah, you don't have a right to do that. You do not have a right to intimidate businesses. You do not have a right to attack places of worship. That goes for every community, regardless of what skin color they are. And if somebody is not happy with the situation, use your vote. That's what it's there for. Write to your MP, write to the government, lobby the government. That's how things work. If you're under threat, call the police and tell them. That's how law in this country works.
Harjap, I just want to end by asking whether you're optimistic about the future when you look at the number of anti-racism protesters that are out on the streets this evening. We're looking at East London at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. You can't even see the end of that. So that's how long it is. Of course I'm optimistic. I've always been optimistic about this country. And it's my country as well, despite I'm being told all weekend by accounts on X that it's not my country and I should go back to where I come from. I actually come from Romford. I'm born in Romford in Essex. So where do you want me to go to? So this is absolutely disgusting, the amount of abuse that we have to suffer. And this has been, over the recent weeks, it's been opened up. And I've never had this level of abuse before over the past 20-odd years. It's just happened recently. So that definitely needs to be looked into by the government. But yeah, I'm always optimistic. All of these people want to live in peace, a lot of them. And the people who are doing wrong, regardless of what religion or colour or race they are, they deserve to be punished. And the rest of us, just please leave us alone in peace.
Harjap Singh, Bhangal immigration lawyer, thank you very much for speaking to us this evening. Thank you.